Hey there guys, welcome back to my channel, and I must say I am glad to be starting this particular series of reviews because these are movies which I've known to be classics, I've known to be really good, but for some reason I've avoided them, I've snubbed them because they are in black and white. They were shot many decades ago, and I thought I wouldn't be, I know that they wouldn't be scary. I just thought they would be like, overacting, dramatic stuff, over dramatic stuff. I am talking about the Universal Pictures Monster series, and until I started watching all of them now, I have only watched one, and that was a few years ago when I watched 1931's Dracula starring Bela Lugosi, because I'm obsessed with Dracula. I want to watch all movies about Dracula, so I did decide to watch that, and I loved it. However, I still snubbed the rest of the movies. I don't know why. So, 43 years old on this planet, and I should have actually been watching them before. So, although this is not from the movies that I actually did watch and want to tell you about, I am actually going to show you what I did get from the Universal Movies Monster series, and this is the Mummy Legacy Collection. So I haven't watched any of them yet. I will be watching one probably, if not tonight, then maybe someday this week, because I really do want to get into these series. So I've also ordered the Dracula Legacy Collection, the Werewolf Collection. I'm still getting options to watch them online, so I might watch a few of them before. I've already watched 3. I might watch a few more before I actually might get my my DVD copies. Now they're a little expensive for me because they're so old. I don't want to pay $20, $25 and or more for them, so I actually got this one that is slightly used, but except for the outer cover, everything else looks almost as good as new. So I bought them from Amazon UK. I bought this one from Amazon UK and the other two also from Amazon UK. 2 of them from the same seller, and they've kept it as the categorization is used, but very good. And I must say they are pretty good. If it's as good as these, then I think I can save some money and get them for like. So guess how much I got this one from? I'll tell it in another video later, but it's very cheap. Anyhow, the first movie that I watched is probably one of the among the oldest. It's from 1935, and it's sorry, the the beeping in my the alarms that are ticking away is from my computer. So from 1935, it's the first werewolf movie in the series, and it's Werewolf of London, starring Henry Hull as the werewolf, and it's directed by Stuart Walker. And you also have in the kind of anti-hero villain role a wonderful actor called Warner Oland, who's actually Swedish, but he moved to the US I think early on. He actually plays a Japanese character, and it was like really funny. But yeah, he does look a little bit Asian, and I think especially because of the black and white era, he does look like he could have passed for something Japanese, maybe with a mix of Caucasian or something. But apparently, I was reading his bio on Wikipedia. Apparently, even though he played many characters who were of Asian, at least of Asian descent or are Asian, he just happens to have some odd mix in his ancestry that made him look Asian, but he's actually Swedish. So maybe some Mongol ancestor somewhere or the other, and that gave him a career in acting that made him look because of his looks gave him more Asian characters. So, but Swedish actually. You've also got playing the wife of So Henry Hull plays Dr. Wilfred Glendon. Warner Oland plays Dr. Yugami, no first name. And Valerie Hobson plays Lisa Glendon, the wife of Wilfred Glendon. You've also got Lester Matthews as Paul Ames, and many others. So the movie starts off with somewhere in Tibet, where the English botanist Glendon is Dr. Glendon is actually searching for the very rare plant they known as the Marifesa plant. And while he's there, he's attacked by a creature which turns out to be a werewolf. He's bit, but he managed to fend off the creature. However, he does come back with a specimen of the Marifesa. I believe he's got three of the plants. So he comes back, and there's a we see exactly how he has his family life is. He's completely obsessed with his work, and he's completely dedicated. So there is a party going on in his house. His wife, his friends are all included. However, he is completely engrossed in his work. But his wife, Lisa, played by Valerie Hobson, is, she wants to party all the time. She wants to go and enjoy her life. She's there with her aunt and some other folks. But her husband is the total opposite. He prefers quite a life, working on his experiments and working on his botany experiments. So at the party, he meets someone new, a botanist called Dr. Yogami, played by Olin, and he says, we've actually met in Tibet, but doesn't remember him. So he says, I've been also seeking the Marifesa, but he wants to use some of it, but Glendon says, Dr. Wilfred Glendon says no, he only has a little bit, so he cannot share it. While he leaves, Yogami tells Glendon that talks about the werewolf legend, and he says the bite of a werewolf makes a human become a werewolf, and that the Manifesta is a temporary antidote for the disease. Glendon doesn't believe this guy. He just thinks that he's talking about stuff. But he starts getting the pangs of turning into the animal, lycanthropy, that's what it's called, and he sees his fur growing on his hand while his hand is placed under a moon lamp that's used to actually make the Marifesa flowers bloom. But apparently the Marifesa blooms in moonlight. So when it becomes full moon, he starts to turn, but Glendon is able to use one of the blossoms to actually stop his transformation. And while this is happening, his wife Lisa is parting away with her former boyfriend named Paul Ames, played by Lester Matthews. And she actually calls him to join them, but he's like, you can go ahead. He doesn't like the fact that Paul is hanging around his wife, but at the same time, he doesn't want his wife to stay at home all the time. She needs to have a life of her own, so he tells her he can go ahead with the party. And later that night, he turns into the werewolf, and he goes out and he attacks a woman and kills her or something like that. And while he is out, Dr. Yagami, who is actually the werewolf that attacked Glendon in Tibet, sneaks into the lab and steals the two blossoms, and the third one, which is remaining, is not yet bloomed. So the werewolf makeup is actually a little bit minimalistic. It's different from what we normally see in the rest of the movie. So it's basically a man with more hair and a slightly, I wouldn't say more wolf, almost like a cat-like appearance. But yeah, there's a lot of fur. So he dons on a hat and a coat. So his demeanor is exactly like that of a human, of a man. He walks like a man. He doesn't prowl or anything like that. And he kills an innocent girl, but he is completely saddened. He neglects his wife even more than usual. So she, she says, "Come on, Paul, let's go." She just goes out partying along with Paul. He tries to go and hide himself in an inn, but he breaks out, kills another person, and then the third blossom the third flower of the Marifesa finally blooms, but again it's stolen by Dr. Yagami. So they actually have a confrontation, and he turns into werewolf again, and he kills Yagami, and he goes in search of Lisa, because the curse of the werewolf is supposed to be that the werewolf will go and kill, it has an instinct to kill that it loves the most, and he loves Lisa. Despite the fact that she's playing around, and I don't know if she's actually having an affair. I don't think 1930s movies could actually show women having adulterous affair. I mean, sorry, not adulterous, but having an affair with another person. But definitely she is out having fun away from her husband. So he goes and searching for her, and he breaks into the house and he tries to attack Lisa. But his uncle, Paul's uncle is, I'm just looking at the name, so Thomas Forsyth. He is a Scotland Yard inspector, and he's been investigating the death of people who were killed by the werewolves. They actually track the werewolf into the house and they shoot Glendon, and as he's dying, he's still in the werewolf form, and he starts thanking the colonel, saying he prefers to have died rather than kill Lisa, and he says goodbye to his wife, and he says he apologizes and says he was sorry that he could not make her happier, and the climatic scene ends with him dying but reverting back to his human form after he passes away. So I thought that was kind of melancholic a little bit. It's kind of sad towards the end. He's a victim. He plays a very empathetic character, as do a lot of these characters in these movies. I must say that I'm actually quite drawn to these characters. They are kind of sympathetic, several of them. However, none more than the next movie of the Werewolf series, which I will do a review of pretty quickly. So, having said that, I would give this movie a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Thank you and take care. Bye.